You're on Food Lovers TV and today we're going to make profiteroles, something that is absolutely dead easy. I didn't believe it, and then my good friend Laura Watson, who has Petal Cupcakes in Auckland, talked me through it and said you can make them and this is how you do it. So this is all thanks to her. First off, I'm going to put 250 grams of butter into a saucepan. We're also going to put in 1.5 cups of water. Righto, so we'll just take this over here, turn this on to high, and basically all we're doing is melting the butter and bringing the water and the butter together to the boil. What I've got in this bowl is 2 cups of high grade flour that I've sifted. That's got half a teaspoon of salt with it as well. What I'm going to do is completely in one action is dump it into that pan, keep it over a low heat, and then start stirring and mixing that, kind of cutting through that mixture really, and mixing it together. Actually that saucepan's hot, so I'll use a towel to hold it, as firm, just firm sort of controlled movements, mixing all that together. Keep stirring it. You want it to come together into a ball of sorts. You just want all the mixture to meld together. Right, that's been cooking now for a couple of minutes, and what I'll do is I'll tilt this so we can really catch it on the camera. See the floury base to the pan where the flour's starting to stick there, and also as you can see this is all sticking together. We've formed together in one mixture and it's pulling away from the side, so it's actually starting to cook as a paste. So what we'll do now is we're just going to turn that off and let it sit till it cools down completely to room temperature. Now I've put the cooled base into the bowl of the food processor. I'm just going to put the lid on here, turn it on and get it moving. Once that has all sort of merged together again, I'm going to break eggs into it one at a time, and patience is really essential with this because you want each egg to be fully incorporated before you mix in the next one. And in total I'm going to use 8 eggs. So I'll get it started. Okay, so the first egg's going in. Okay, that's had 8 eggs. They've been beaten in really, really thoroughly with the mixer going continuously, and leave a space, leave time in between adding each egg so you really do get it mixed well. Okay, we're going to push that aside for a second, bring in our baking tray which has got baking paper on it, get rid of all of our egg shells, our 8 egg shells. Now on this baking paper what I'm going to do is just put my fingers under some water and then just flick some water onto the tray. And what I'm going to do, I've got a rounded tablespoon here which I quite like that shape of, but what we're going to do is we're just going to put little, and I want to keep these quite small, we're going to put little spoonfuls of pastry onto here, leaving a gap in between of course. Now I've got the oven preheated. They're going to go in at 210 degrees. Leave them at that for 10 minutes and then turn the oven down to 180 and leave them for another 10 minutes. My timer's beeped. Let's have a look and see what's happening. They are looking pretty good, I think. Let's have a look. Look at these, they're gorgeous. Beautiful and puffed. Now, my friend Sally, what she suggests is when you pull them out like this, and they should feel really light for their weight, what Sally suggests is if you get a knife, you just make a little slit in the side of each of them, and then she pops them back into the oven for another 5 minutes just to make sure they're completely dry and hollow inside. Because of course what we generally will do with them now is using a piping bag, you can fill them with whipped cream, ice them with melted chocolate and cream mixed together. You can put spun sugar on them. You can make all sorts of things, including a profiterole tower, which of course is called a croquembouche. And if you want to make one of those, what I would suggest doing is you go to a cake decorating shop and you hire a conical shape, and then you make them inside that and then lift that off, and then you have your perfect tower sitting there. You can of course do it free form, but it is much more difficult. And there you have beautiful profiteroles. And if you'd like to find more cooking videos, more recipes, check out foodlovers.co.nz.